Mixtapes and DVDs is my era.
Facts.
We did it better.
Yep.
Pelly leathers,
Facts.
ACG boots. We 80s babies and early 90s when it got grimy. I was out of this world, you could not find me unless you check the lobby. Hustling was my hobby. We was lobby boys before Jim Jones. You could catch me in Harlem eating Jimbos. dvderatv back at y'all with another one. Let's get straight into this. Now, in my previous video on the whole Prodigy and Lakey the Kid beef, I explained how Prodigy was knocked out and robbed by Sherm the Worm, and Prodigy believing that Lakey the Kid had some involvement in the whole situation. Now, what I didn't mention was after the whole altercation that happened at the tunnel, that Lakey and Worm and their guys came back to the hood, and another altercation will go down between Sherm and Big Noyd. Now, if you're not familiar with Big Noyd, he's another rapper out of Queensbridge, and he's highly affiliated with Mobb Deep, and he appeared on every album of theirs up until their G-Unit release for Blood Money. Big Noyd was also featured on Mobb Deep's hit record for Burn that featured Vita of Murder Inc. Now, Big Noyd signed to Tommy Boy Records in 1993, and over the years he put out a decent amount of albums and collaborated with artists like Joel Ortiz, 40 Glock, Mobb Deep, and Core Mega. Now, according to street legend Sherm the Worm, Mobb Deep crew got into it with a family member of his from Jamaica, Queens, so he decided to teach them a lesson and get at them. Now, supposedly, Worm see them in the hood on a bench, and he pulls out on them, and the dudes from Mobb Deep camp scatters and yell out he got a gun. Now, Sherm the Worm and Prodigy will see each other once again after that whole situation went down, and there'll be a lot of tension between the two from their past run-ins. Now, supposedly, this situation ended with shots being fired at the truck that Prodigy was in. So it seems like before that whole situation that went down at the tunnel, these two crews had a lot of run-ins with each other. Now, Sherm the Worm will eventually be arrested on a parole violation because supposedly Twin Mother filed a police report on him, and he was on parole at the time. Now, even though this beef was supposed to be left alone because Lakey was trying to bring everybody together, I guess all their past run-ins is where all the hatred came from for Mobb Deep that Lakey spoke on. Now, after the whole altercation happened with Mobb Deep, after they performed at the tunnel, there'd be another situation that go down with Big Noyd and Sherm the Worm when they got back in their hood. Now, supposedly, they seen Big Noyd driving down 21st, and they got him to pull over. He hopped out to have a conversation with Lake. Now, while he was talking to Lake, Sherm the Worm gets a beer bottle from his homeboy and hits Noyd upside the head with the beer bottle and then took his chain. Now, supposedly, when Noyd got his chain taken, it was already a green light on them. You get what I'm saying? After they took Prodigy chain, so it was a green light on anybody that ran with them. Now, Prodigy was able to get his chain back because E-Money Bags in Troy reached out to Sherm. Now, Sherm said him and his guys already came to an agreement that if Lakey made that call that Prodigy had to get his chain returned, they was going to do so because he felt what he did was wrong, being that he was on Lakey the Kid time and Lakey ain't have nothing to do with it. Now, Lakey the Kid decided that Prodigy should get his chain back, and Sherm the Worm said the honorable thing was to give it back, but they don't take nothing and give it back without you paying. So I guess he either wanted to be paid for the cars that was stolen at the tunnel or want to be paid to return the chain. Now, according to Sherm the Worm, Prodigy and Havoc both gave him their numbers, but when he contacted P, he was in the hospital at the time due to his sickle cells. But he did get to run into Havoc at the club, and Havoc basically told him, even though it's between him and P, he was going to make sure he'd still be paid. Now, supposedly, Chris Lighty got involved with the whole situation, and he gave Sherm the money he wanted. Now, I'm not sure if Big Noyd ever got his chain back, though. But anyway, if y'all want to hear the story in full detail, y'all could go check it out on Gully TV. His interview with Sherm the Worm, he explains everything in full detail. If y'all feeling these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend and tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More exclusive content coming, and I'm out. One.